All right, so in regards to today's practice, players that will be out, we have, and most of this from the game. So Scooter Harrington with a knee, okay, Jesper Horsted with a knee, Sam Camara with an ankle, Jordan Lucas with a quad, Lyle Nichols with a toe, Mike Pennell with a groin, Pat Scales ankle, James Walters calf, and then Javon Wims. I know we talked about his appendix. It's his oblique, so it's not anything to do with his appendix, which is good. So that's his oblique. And then back in today, and we'll be smart with all these players, will be James Daniels, Eddie Goldman, Jermaine Ifedi off of PUP, Ryan Nall, Roquan Smith, and Danny Trevathan. So we'll be smart with all of them. We'll be smart with how we use them in practice and kind of just individually just see where they're at. But we'll go out there today, and today is not a pads day, but we'll go out and have a good day of practice and get back on track here. So with that, I'll open it up.
Matt, I've been meaning to ask you this, but what happened to the visor?
Well, I think more than anything, it's the suntan lotion wasn't working, so I was getting like a visor tan on my head. So I just tried to. You guys know that are bald in here. There's not too many though, but yeah. So stayed away from it. Huh?
You need to pull that.
I know.
What is Tariq Cohen able to do right now, physically, and what are you still looking for him to be able to do?
Yeah, I mean, physically, he's just going through all his rehab, and I mean, he's out there trying to stay, as as flexible as he can and running around doing different things with Dre. I'm not out there when he's doing his stuff, so I don't know the exact details of what he's doing, but he's definitely progressing. I don't have a timeline for him, but I do know that, I think that he's in a good place, and I just appreciate that. I know it's been frustrating for him, but he's working hard, and we just, every day just try to keep working at it.
Opener for him, or do you?
I don't know about that. I just don't know, and I kind of caught myself the last time when I put a timeline on him. So, but I don't know about that.
2018, everything's going pretty well offensively, and you're getting 7 yards every time you put the ball in his hands. What did that do to you as a play caller when he struggles in 2019? He, by his own admission, said he was not totally in shape. He was not his best self.
Sure.
And then you lose him altogether last year.
Yeah, 2018 was really good. We were able to move him around and do different things, and he was a big-time weapon, and he was in 19 too. I mean, teams needed to know. They're always concerned of where he is, but to his own admission, he says that. But at the same time, I think that we were really last year going into those first three games, he was really getting back to his 2018 form. That's what's so frustrating, is that happened. So I know now his number one focus is to get healthy, and then when he does get healthy, he's a great addition to our offense.
Matt, you mentioned on Saturday that Justin's done some things maybe quicker or better than you guys thought he'd be at the stage. What are some of the specifics of the things that have caught your eye in that regard?
Probably, well, number one for sure is picking up the intricacies of the play calling in the huddle. Number one, we know that. We've made that loud and clear. The post-snap recognition has been pretty good. Now, there's a couple times where, there was one in particular in the game where they buzzed back to cover too late, and his progression, he was at a different place in his progression. But those are good to teach off of. You can see when the ball snapped, he goes back. There's other times where they're going back, buzz back late, and he does a great job of seeing it and reading it. And I think that's probably, to me, his post-snap progressions of how quick he sees that is a huge strength of his. And then what we're starting to see too, as we're all seeing, is that he's back there, and if a play is not open and he catches that edge, that scares defensive coordinators because he can get a 20-yard gain. So he has a good feel of when to run, when not to run, when to protect himself. But all in all, just doing a really good job right now of taking it all in and running the offense.
You only have this one last preseason game. What do you want to evaluate with him, and who do you want to evaluate him with this week?
Yeah, we're going to work through that, Dan, for the players in this game. We're going to get together tonight. We're going to talk to the players. We're going to talk to the coaches, and we should have a pretty good idea tomorrow as to what we're going to do with the plan, working through the 3 preseason game thing and how we want to do it. But the ultimate goal would be to make sure that, I would say offensively as a whole, just have a little bit more success in regards to getting first downs, staying away from the penalties, the mental stuff, and then whoever's out there being able to just play fast and really kind of tie up this training camp as we head into the season. Yeah.
And how important is it to get them getting reps in Tennessee?
It's really important, and that's probably the one thing that we haven't really talked a whole lot about, but we really haven't had that starting line together this whole training camp. So I think for us, we're excited to be able to see, okay, where guys are at the left tackle, get James back, get Ifedi back, get Sam and Cody, who've been playing their butt off in practice and in games, and really be able to see that. So I think it's important that they start getting some reps here this week and then in the game too, possibly.
Now, was that the whole shot that Justin had, I think on the left side to Johnson, was that one of the examples you're talking about where he saw the safety run backwards and look into a cover two?
No, he actually made he made a quick decision there, Adam, on his footwork and getting the ball up and down. Are you saying the good?
Yeah, I'm saying he
clip?
read it correctly.
Yeah, that one was correct. Yeah. That was a really good job by him seeing that. Sometimes what happens is that guy, instead of jumping up for the ball and coming down and either catching it or dropping it, sometimes that safety gets there early because you're late to the throw, and he either picks it or hits him. That didn't happen there because he got the ball up and down.
As the first half was playing out and you had Andy out there, and obviously as you talked about after the game, there weren't many starters out there. I guess what was your reasoning for continuing to play him throughout that, even though he wasn't really necessarily working with the guys that he's probably going to be working with when the season starts?
Yeah. The biggest thing is, well, we were in a position there towards the end of the half where we can maybe get some 2-minute with Andy, which he hasn't, he's done it in practice, but hasn't had it in these preseason games. And again, like when you look at these players that are playing and not playing, I go back to just that balance and the decision of, what those starters are doing in practice together versus what they can do in preseason together, and then the injury risk, and that's that whole balancing. So is it necessarily fair to Andy and Justin with the guys they're playing with? It's not, it's not. But at the same point in time, that's where we're at. And so just the more reps we could get, Andy, when you go back and you look at what Andy is doing in these last 2 preseason games, I understand the part of, we haven't been getting first downs and there's been 3 and outs and that. I get that. But really, when you look at play by play at what he's doing, he's making really good decisions. It's unfortunate, like on the interception, right? Rodney slipped and fell, and everyone saw that. And Rodney, he'll run 10 of those and he won't slip again. But that's a part of football. But his decision making, Andy's decision making, has been really good. We had some plays where he's made some plays that maybe couldn't have or shouldn't have been able to make, and he has. But we just want to continue. We like what he's doing right now with the ones in practice, and I think that's what probably makes us feel good. But we also like where Justin's at and seeing him grow, and so that's what we got to kind of talk through here these next couple weeks.
How
Matt,
vital
when
is it
feel-
then for them to get the reps behind an offensive line that's going to
Huge.
be a little bit more cohesive? So what does that make this week, kind of weight that it carries?
Yeah, no, it's big, Deanna, and I think that for our offensive linemen, for the communication purposes, for the run game, our run game hasn't been bad, but when you get behind like that, again, like we're trying to evaluate these players. So what kind of plays are you calling? You get caught up as a coach trying to come back and try to score and win the game and do things. But really, when the score is where it's at, run our normal stuff and see what we can do. And so there is a balance to that. But this week of practice, getting these guys in, we got to make sure too, like with Ifedi can't just come on in, and Jason Peters just can't come on in and just play the whole practice. And there's a rhythm to how they do it. So we got to monitor that. But then we also know this third game here in preseason is going to be real for them to be able to get out there and see what they can do, for football shape too.
Kind of focus on the quarterbacks and
Yeah.
offensive line. What about the defense? You had starters out there for a lot of those 4 touchdown drives to open for Buffalo.
Yeah.
What did you and Sean kind of evaluate as you went back and watched the film?
Sure. The biggest thing, Brad, is for us is, where we're at right now is there's going to be a lot of just right now one-on-one stuff that goes on, whether it's one-on-one and man, and it's just simple man coverage. It's different coverages that you present in zone. And I think probably the biggest thing was just the tackling, some of the tackling. And we had a couple penalties on third down where we got on offense, we did the same thing. So that's my biggest part is, okay, when we're out here and we play, we tackle, and if they're going to drive down the field, we get a stop in red zone. I thought we were in great position on 4th and 1, and they made a better play than us. So that's a part of football. But our guys see that, and we're going to watch it together as a team and coaches today and go through it. But tackling would be number one.
Matt,
Last one, guys.
along with the injuries, Paul Nichols is obviously a key player
Yeah.
for you guys. Is that concerning for week 1 or just something you're
No, I don't think so. I think he'll be okay for that. Yeah, he's just, I think he'll be good, and we just want to be smart with him so he is ready for week 1. Okay, thank you.